Okay,
You're unmuted.
all right, already started once again. Okay, thank you, Sandy. Welcome to the Atkins City Council meeting for November 12th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. And at this time, we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ask all rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, everybody. This time, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the agenda. If council so wishes.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion, a second. I guess, let's see, look at the roll call. We'll have Jim Kane.
Aye.
Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson.
Aye.
David Fisher.
Aye.
And EJ Bell.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll consider that the roll call. Thank you for obliging my, I'm out of breath because we just got back from running down with the agenda, so, all right. Item number 3 is a consent, well, let's back up a bit. We need to have a vote on the approval agenda. We did that. Motion carries. Okay. Item number 3, consent agenda for this evening. Considering the approval of the Atkins City Council minutes of October 22, 28, 29, 30, and list of bills for approval. We have a motion to approve consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, the roll call vote will be Jim Kane,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Samantha Peterson,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
and EJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 4, resolution approving the purchase of a 2025 Chevrolet Silverado from McGrath Fleet and Commercial for the truck, safety lights, plow mount, and truck body for a total of $73,447.06. Sandy, did you have anything to follow with that?
No, just a reminder that we had this in the FY 25 budget and as a request for purchase this year. And then we had brought it and discussed it a little bit a few months ago. Wanted a little bit of experience with the budget, which I think you have seen that. And then to it back out to get quotes again and we're again ready for the purchase.
You have all the information in your packet on the quotes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the purchase of the Chevy Silverado.
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, during our review of all the departments, I would have expected that we would have made some type of case of why we needed the new pickup trucks. That never happened. Given our, where we're at from a safety perspective, I'm a no at this point in time due to the fact that we don't know even if we can insure ourselves after this year. So I'm a no.
Any further discussion?
We did, I recall having a conversation about the truck during the tour. It may have been, it was at the end though, so I don't think we were all there at that time. I recall talking through it with Todd and then the need for a replacement.
Yeah, the truck was parked at the end. I can support the truck. I definitely see the need for another truck to replace the current truck. I think this truck includes some things that are definite improvement just beyond replacing the truck. So the work body is going to increase productivity and probably safety, in fact, versus pulling tools in and out of that either a double cab or I'm not sure if it's a four-door, but
The red one. back.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's just a single cab.
it's a makeshift toolbox. You got to read.
We've been going around for
Yeah.
several years about this. Now that red truck been down for almost 3 years and the maintenance on that is getting to be unreasonable. It's not, I mean, most of the guys don't even want to take it out of town to go get parts and stuff in Cedar Rapids, so.
Well, I
You
can't,
can't handle the plow.
I can't, so, and then that, and then the plow. So, yeah, for those reasons, I think this is a prudent investment for the town.
Any further discussion? Yep. It is to replace a 2007 model vehicle, and it's badly rusted. So that vehicle is badly rusted. So things just get of age and time to replace.
And the staff has identified they're not going to get rid of the 07 anyway, because till it just literally quits, they're gonna use it around town for the minor works, but it's not.
And I do think that how it's outfitted, the red truck isn't great inside, you know,
Right.
the toolbox
Right.
thing. And so I think in-town use only, which is how they use it today.
It's what?
Yep.
In-town use only is how they will use that red truck.
Yeah, so that's why I said they're not gonna get rid of it. And the intent was to keep the new truck as they can and not just get rid of things, keep as many miles and stuff off and use the red truck to take any of that little stuff that they can around. So we're not overspending and they are gonna be prudent with the use, I believe.
Okay. All right. All right, for the roll call vote, Jim Kane,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky,
Aye.
Samantha Peterson,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Nay.
and EJ Bell.
Hey.
Motion carries. All right, moving on, item number 5, resolution approving a contract amendment with ECOG to provide the FEMA grant administration support for debris removal, not to exceed amount of $4,500. And Sandy, would you have any background there?
Yeah,
with
just
that?
a little clarification. The ECOG has been contracted by the city to do all of the grant administration work for the fire station. And so in talking to Tom Gruis, who already has all access to all of our online accounts with FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security, I talked to him about how it makes sense that he would be the most efficient to do the drawdown of all the derecho expenses. So that's been on the list for a while to bring in those funds that we're able to bring in before the closeout of the FEMA project, which won't be until the end of the fire station construction. And so this is the contract to have ECOG do that work on behalf of the city.
Thank you, Sandy. And but also, just to add to that, the debris removal in total is about $520,000. Like Sandy had mentioned, there won't be a complete drawdown of that amount, but about $300,000 to $350,000 would be available for ECOG to work on to bring back to the city. So, and that $4,500 actually can be added on to the debris removal amount anyway. So do we have a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve the contract with ECOG.
And,
Second.
and we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote is Jim Kane,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky,
Aye.
Samantha Peterson,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
and EJ Bell.
Aye.
Motion carries. Right. Thank you, everyone. And then moving on to item number 5, resolution expressing intent to provide economic development support to Stone Ridge Developing LLC. Sandy?
Mayor Dave Dennis is here and would like to, as
Okay.
requested in advance, to address the council on this item.
Okay. All right, Dave.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank council for considering this. I mean, obviously, our costs have gone up crazy. For those 17 lots, we're approaching $1.5 million to put those in. And we just want to keep things going and being able to attract people to this community and just keep things going. If you have any questions for me, hopefully I can answer them. I'm sorry Wes couldn't be here tonight, he's out of town.
Okay.
No, I don't, I mean,
Any questions?
because we
Okay.
talked about this pretty,
Same thing we're doing, it's not costing us, we're just using TIF money to help them get their infrastructure and stuff done.
well, but I do want to, we did discuss as a council that we're not, this is taking a view of the entirety of your development over there and what you've invested in the town and to get the project finished. I think for me, it's not a blanket that we want to always incentivize residential development with TIF.
Yeah, this is just supporting them on this particular project, the 17 units, it's not anything moving forward.
And what we look to do is be able to reduce the cost of the lots with the TIF, you know,
Right.
so we can make it affordable if people come here. I've said it before, but I always look at the new school teacher that just gets hired at Benton Community and wants to stay in this community. I want them to build napkins and be in the community with the students and stuff like that, and not somewhere else.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's,
We want a nice house for a new administrator and clerk.
yeah,
Well, thank you for what you guys have done
Yep.
to help us grow
Sure.
the town.
yeah, it's always exciting. It just keeps going up.
So this resolution, what's the next step then? Do we need, is this kind of it or
No.
it's, okay.
No, I can give you a little, so the idea is that what we determined, and I think that Maggie Berger from Spear Financial mentioned this when she did her kind of tip overview for the council several weeks ago, but she has reviewed with the contract that you all approved. She looked at the proposal from Stone Ridge Developing, determined that the best timing is to have the TIP certification effective in December of 2025, not right now. So a year from now is the best timing for being able to capture those new values and investing in the infrastructure, as you mentioned. And therefore, we didn't have to rush through the TIF agreement. But this resolution of intent confirms that the council is interested and is committed to doing this work with Stone Ridge Developing, but now you have the time to actually put together the agreement itself. And you have one agreement that's for the commercial area, so that's the one that we have in place right now. It'll be very similar to that in that it outlines the kind of 11-year agreement that you have with Stone Ridge Developing. Maggie Berger with Spear is putting that together for you, and then John Danos with Dorsey and Whitney, our bond counsel, is preparing the documentation for that. And you'll see that probably, sometime winter, January, February, somewhere in there, where the actual documentation of all the values and the commitment, the formal commitment. This does give Stone Ridge Developing the assurance that the city is going to do business with them and that they can start the work on their side that they need to get done. We were hoping that they could move some dirt around and do some things to get ready for the spring build. And the sooner they build the houses, the infrastructure goes in, the sooner they build the houses, the faster the values come online and the TIF is generated. So that's why you're doing a resolution today.
When do we have to decide or discuss kind of the LMI usage and how?
Not for a while, actually. Okay. I had that on my list. You're not going to generate LMI, and that's low moderate income. It's required when you do a residential TIF. It's a percentage of the monies collected that have to be spent on residents that are of low and moderate income. And I think when Maggie was here, we were looking it's years out, honestly, before you're going to capture. It could be 5 years from now before you have any amount of money to speak of. Not to say that you should wait. What we mentioned was that ECOG in this area, ECOG is a very good source to go to. They do this with other cities. You don't want to become experts in LMI. It would be just unwieldy for you to do it. That's true of any city. Most cities go through ECOG or a similar COG to do the work. And you need to either wait till you generate enough money that you have something to, some money to deal with, or going through ECOG, you might have an opportunity that somebody else will cash flow it for you, and then you pay them back, some kind of a revolving loan fund, so that if you have a project that comes up that makes sense for the city, then you're able to jump on it. But I think ECOG can absolutely, steer you towards some of those. I will caution you that I think Maggie pointed this out, you're going to struggle a little bit to identify a project because of the income of this city. You have a high median income. And so that's why I think you're going to take your time and find the best project. Some of the projects that even she mentioned, you're going to struggle that when you go down the block, you're not going to have people who are going to meet that low to moderate income threshold. It's pretty low. So you'll want to get somebody working on it and identify the best project. And I would not rush into that.
So, hey, I have a question. I know we talked about this in the past. I know it kind of brought up as a conversation on the side. And forgive me, I haven't. So these 17 lots, something that Atkins really, really needs is the more legitimate first-time home buyer houses. The houses that are a little bit for the new family that's coming into town, not the ones that are already established. So my question is, are these houses more gauged towards the people that are already established, looking for that second, third home? Or are we looking for these homes to be that homes that are, in a little less money, but they can get some of those first-time home buyers especially in the market that we are in now? Because working in banking and stuff like that, that's the inventory, and talking to lots and lots of realtors that I do all the time. That's what communities like ours are struggling, is to have those.
I would really like to see us create like a first-time home buyers thing. Can you do that with the LMI? Could that be a program?
I think it'd be too much of a program.
It'd be hard to do. I mean,
And not enough money.
yeah, I mean, we want to stay consistent.
I mean,
Again,
oh,
if
no,
you
go ahead. I didn't quite hear that. Sorry.
Existing
But I
people.
don't,
Well-
Councilmember, Bell, I don't think that's Councilmember Bell's question. Councilmember Bell's question is, what is the price point of the houses that you're gonna
Well,
build?
we want to
with
stay
this?
consistent with what we are doing up there for the most part. You know, I guess I looked at it, if we could create a first-time home buyers with some of that LMI money down the road, you know, maybe if we develop this back here, maybe that would fall in place over here, was my thought. But, you know,
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not in charge of that. I'd like to have input and
But
throw my
these-
ideas out there.
And you do have the condition where they call it the housing vacuum, where you, someone who would purchase a home like you're talking about, the existing home, does move someone out of another home. And generally that would provide a place for someone else, maybe a first-time home buyer, move into that home. So any housing that's developed is not a negative. in my
To his point, he said, we didn't want existing people over there, but if they move over there, then that puts their lower valued houses up in the market, and again, you're doing the same, it's the same effect.
But with the LMI.
Well, that's not necessarily true in Atkins. That's why I'm asking the question.
Well, I think,
I don't know. The new houses now are standard 3-stall garage, 4-bedroom suite, 3 bathrooms. I think that's the new standard.
Yeah,
And that's
we'll have
what,
the
not what I'm
option.
asking. I'm asking like the more first-time home buyers that like maybe a 2-stall garage, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a little bit smaller. That's all I'm asking. Like, I'm not asking for us to create a program. I'm just asking what kind of houses that you're looking to build. Is that, have some of those in there, or that's all I'm asking.
Well, our minimum square footage is 1350, I think, in that neighborhood. So we can build a 2-stall, smaller home. It's just kind of market driven. It's the biggest.
Sure.
You aren't building spec anyway, for the most part, you're building things that are already sold, you're looking here.
Well, for the most part, I'm not starting any specs right now. 'Cause it's
Well,
just-
but I'm saying, you're working with the realtors and looking with the lot and building as people are trying to
Yeah.
buy there, so if somebody comes in, if we've got realtors or somebody that's there, you're gonna build for
Yeah,
that.
and the last residential lot just sold 2 weeks ago. So there's nothing available up there. And with this new 17 lots, they probably won't be buildable until late summer of 25. So I anticipate there'll probably be some built up demand there, or pinned up demand. That's what happened on the other side of town when there was nothing available in Atkins for lots. When we were finally able to get those, done and buildable, we had 3 or 4 people that just were ready to go. So I mean, I don't know, it's a different beast right now. I mean, a house that I built in 2019 and sold for $225 is going for 4 something now. And that's 4 years ago. So if we develop those 17 lots and they cost, $80,000 for a lot, that's going to eliminate a lot of people. But if we can use this TIF to reduce the cost of the lots, I'm hoping that's going to open stuff up for some people.
When will you be able to start on the infrastructure of the road?
Well, we're looking to kind of work with you guys so that we know that we're able to go forward, and then we'll kind of get our dirt guys lined up and ready to go, and our engineer finishing everything up. And, whoever we use for dirt and sewer and water, if we can give them the word sooner than later, we get them started. I don't know that this year, I'd love to have roads starting to get graded this time of year, and then go through a winter with a freeze and a thaw, because that's Mother Nature's the best compaction we're gonna get. But I don't know if it's feasible this late. I mean, we're in November.
That's what this action is.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just gonna all depend on on where this goes tonight, and, you know, we're gonna try to get going as soon as we possibly can. Because I'd like to see grading start this year, if it possibly can. It's gonna be weather dependent, obviously.
So what you said there concerned me, about making the lot affordable, with using the TIF. If the lots are overpriced at what they are, they need to come down in value in order to make it feasible for you to build in that. And using TIF funds in order to do something from a residential standpoint just does not make a lot of sense. And I think there's way too many unanswered questions in order for me to make any decisions on this at this point in time. So I would like to make a motion to table this at this point in time.
I think we've even had a specific work session
Oh, we voted on this.
on
Yeah,
this, on TIF. We discussed it in depth, and then we voted on this already. I don't think there's anything left.
What we voted on was for us to look into it, and that's it.
I don't think so.
You contracted with Maggie from Spear to prepare this document and the contract, the agreement with Stone Ridge Development. And I just want to make sure we're clear too about buying down the lots, the cost of the lots. I think that is confusing language. What the city will pay for through TIF is public infrastructure costs. So you say, Dave, that you're buying down the price of the lot, but really what we're doing is.
I didn't say it, he said it.
Sorry, not you, Dave. Dave Vanis. I apologize. Dave Vanis, who's here. He keeps saying, he's saying by, to make the lots more affordable. In reality, what the city is doing is paying for the streets, sewer, sidewalk, curb and gutter, water lines that go to the properties. We're only paying for those infrastructure pieces that are gonna come back and become city property. What that does is make the development not have to pay for those themselves. I just want to be clear, and I know Councilmember Fisher, you understand this, but I think for other people that might watch it, we want to make sure that it's clear, we're not paying for the lots.
Right.
We're not buying it down.
We're not
just
buying-
covering ours so that he doesn't have to add that cost to the lots that he's selling.
And we have very strict standards
Yes.
at the city, and I'm very proud of those. I think that's a very good move for the city to follow SUDAS and the requirements that we do have. And those costs are more expensive than some other communities have. And you do not want to back down from those. Those are why you have long-term streets that, hold up for years and decades. It brings a higher quality of living to the houses that are built here. But with those come a cost, and it makes you competitive, I would say, in housing to other small communities, because developers have to put in all that infrastructure and then also be attractive on market price of house. And TIF, buying into that infrastructure, is one way of making sure that while you have an affluent community, you're able to keep in that market price so that you continue to attract new residents to the community.
Yeah, I might have kind of said that wrong. Thanks for clarifying that. That's what I meant.
Well, and it's tied to the increase in the value of the lot that would not have occurred had the development been done. So it's not, it's also, I think, maybe to clarify, not out of the existing tax rolls or a tax or a part of any current tax on anybody in the town that exists right now, or any value that exists in the town right now. It's just for future value to be created. And so it's not a zero-sum situation where it's pulling from somewhere else in the budget or some dollars and taking, somewhere else that has to be replaced by an increased tax rate. That's not how it works. It's increase in the taxable valuation.
So I always like to, we always called it a but-for test. if the development does not occur, none of this money exists. You are not able to spend this money on something else because it literally does not exist until these houses are built. So you can't say we should spend it on something else because it doesn't exist unless these houses are built. So you have a test that says if you don't build the houses, the valuation doesn't come on the tax rolls ever. You spend this for 11 years. That's what this agreement specifies. And then in year 12, the city gets all of that valuation. And that's how cities grow and be able to spend more money, have money to do all the things that cities want to do. You have to be patient. You have to wait for that tax money to come back to you. But man, it's well worth the wait. And it's a great way to build a community in the long term, having a longer term view. But if they don't build the houses, then you don't have money today, but you also don't have money in 12 years.
Did you say $1.5 million too for your investment, you're estimating?
It was 1.2 to 1.5.
Which, and I think these estimates were done on a $961,000 project cost, if I'm reading this correctly. So the year one loss is $998. That includes carrying costs. I'm assuming there's a financing assumption there. But if I change that to a -1.5 in year one, it doesn't work. You don't have a positive return over 10 years. And so I think you are already aware of that. And that's a little bit of what's going on here is this deal isn't feasible given the economic realities right now for you.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without the TIF.
Right. And I think for me, we voted to engage. I just looked at the previous agenda to engage Spear for this. We did have a discussion. I think we had it, the council had a good discussion where it was like acknowledging kind of the investment in the area over there. It's been good for the town, not just the residential, but the commercial as well. There's more commercial to go. But also being mindful to not commit ourselves to anybody else that we're always going to be doing this sort of incentive for residential development. I don't want us to lose that idea because we did discuss it, and I think that's fair for us to consider here as we think about all of the factors to make this decision.
It is, and it is the funds are sourced from just the 17 lots as well. And it's also a payback as the funds come in. Because as the valuation grows, like we've heard tonight, that valuation increase provides the funds. The funds then go back to the developer for up to 10 years. So it's incentive for the developer to get on the stick and build the homes. And it provides a pay-as-you-go only for the revenues that come in. So it's TIF is a very commonly used feature within the state of Iowa for economic development. And it does provide the low to moderate income set aside, as they call it, in this package. But so I think hopefully that helps answer some of the questions out there.
Do we have a motion?
We have a motion to table by David Fisher.
Make a motion to approve the expressed intent to support Stone Ridge development.
Jim, we have a motion to table, but we need a second on that motion. Do we hear a second on the motion to table it? Calling once more for a motion to table, or a second. Okay, hearing none, we declare that the motion to table has died for lack of second. Do you have any further motions on the resolution on intent?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution expressing intent to provide economic development support to Stone Ridge Development LLC.
I'll second it.
Second by Kane. Any further discussion on the motion to approve? Okay, hearing none. Call for the roll call vote. Jim Kane,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky,
Aye.
Samantha Peterson,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Nay.
PJ Bell,
I'm going to be a nay. And the only reason for this is I'm still struggling with on how this is done. So, I know yours is already going to be approved, but at some point I just need to sit with you and really kind of get more of an understanding. Because I'm struggling with this as a path I just don't think I like to use TIF money with when we don't have some more commercial stuff, you know. Nothing against you. I just need to get some more information and try to understand it going forward even more. So just gonna be honest. So
motion carries. Resolution is approved. Moving on to reports. Mayor's report. I'd like to recognize that Sandy Fowler, interim city administrator, will be leaving our contract here on Friday, and appreciate her contribution to our community the last few months. She's filled in for the city administrator. Appreciate her expertise and her contacts outside the city, and her work with our residents and staff and everyone in council. So I just want to say thank you, Sandy, for that. And then we have the burn ban has been lifted due to our recent rains. Also, we have the November 12th, let's see. Okay. Mayor attended the East Central Iowa Housing Trust Fund. This is a workforce housing initiative for the state of Iowa. It was a meeting in Benton, and we did talk about first-time home buyers and housing stock needs within the state of Iowa and Benton County in particular. And also attended the ECOG board meeting and attended the EMS conference in Des Moines, where we met with the different players involved with emergency management and disaster preparedness for the state of Iowa. And also want to wish our condolences to the family of Kathy Becker. She's a longtime library director for the city, and our thoughts are with their family at this time. And that completes the mayor's report.
Yeah, I have a quick report as well, and just on a couple of housekeeping items. Tree removals were scheduled for this week, but have been put off by the contractor to next week. So we're working with them to make sure that they get here in town before the weather turns. The residents' lead and copper service line inventory, we've talked about that a few times here. We did complete that, send it into the DNR as required on October 16th. The second requirement is that within 30 days of that, which would be this week, we are required to send a notice to every property owner, every water service customer who, where we don't know, we have an unknown service line material, or if they had lead or lead galvanized previously connected to lead service lines. We don't have any of those. What we have are 263 unknown service lines, and it's essentially in our community based on age. So once lead was outlawed, we know that those communities, so all of the newer developments we know are free of lead. But we have 263 that we still have as unknown, and we are required by DNR and EPA to send a notice out to them. It is ready to go. We'll have that out before I leave on Friday. Also on the website, So you might get questions about this notice because it's, you know, a little scary. You know, you read it and you're not quite sure what it is. And some of your residents really might be wondering what this is. They probably saw the postcard, didn't understand that. Now they'll get a notice and they won't understand this. So you might help them out. They need to let us know what that service line material is. And there are links to websites on the EPA that help you find out what yours is. People can go in and help you find out. We take pictures of them. Until we can reduce that number to 0 of unknown, you have to annually send this letter out. So it is in the city's best interest to identify all of these property owners' service line materials. I just updated the website, so it has a paper copy of that survey that we had online for a while. So our residents, maybe in the older part of town, that paper copy will be a little more user-friendly. The city staff knows, Todd knows to, as we get into properties to change out water lines and that kind of stuff, we'll be identifying them to reduce them from the list. I think people are quite interested in giving us that information. So direct them to the website. It's on the homepage. There's a link to it. All the links are on there to help. And then they would send in that survey and some pictures, and we'd be able to identify their service line. So we are pretty, confident that there isn't lead in the service lines, but obviously we can't tell them that. And we need to have it confirmed that it is not lead. So,
And paper copies too, or available?
I put a paper copy up on the website, so you can just print it.
Okay.
Do you still have my name on file if anybody is comfortable with me? I've done this for some in the past already and helped input that, and I have identified some lead lines, so.
If you have, then we need to know
Yes,
that.
that's on, and there's, I have identified at least one lead line. I have pictures that I submitted to Todd, and it's online, but if there's somebody that is more comfortable with me than somebody else, I'm more than happy to
Thank you. Okay.
provide and assist wherever I can.
Sounds good. I definitely think you're going to want, as a city, we want to reduce that. You don't want to send a letter every year so. And then I am working on scheduling the work session for the water system with Nick. It'll be either next week or the week after that. So I am down to a couple of days and we'll get the final scheduling in of that. So, and then as far as my departure, I have to say, I'm sad to be leaving you. Just in some of my preparation, I'm finalizing the update to that projects report that I've shared with you in the past. My hope is that the information I'm providing in this list provides some continuity to the council and the staff of the work that I was able to identify and accomplish and then assist the city with. Thank you so much to you, the city council. I really have appreciated working with you. It really has been a pleasure to get back in the game a little bit and do work that's very different. The small cities are different than my experience, and it was a good learning experience and fun for me to provide, the assistance I was able to. I have really enjoyed the Atkins community. It's been very nice to get to know all the people here. You do some really amazing things and stick together, and there's a lot of great work going on here. My hope is that the work I've been able to do here provides a little bit of a positive position for you. My goal really was, I certainly was hoping that you'd have an administrator to take over when I left, but we kind of knew from the beginning that might not be the case. I stayed a lot longer than my first intent. Instead, what I've tried to do is set you up for success. So putting some people on contract to do some of the work that you don't have staff to do. You're still missing that big piece. I don't want you to step off the gas to hire an administrator. I think it's really important to the work of the city that you do that. But your record keeping now, I think, is in a better place. Your financials are in a better place. So the work I've identified that, the projects, and you're in a better place, I think, on some of the projects that you have going on. I have very much enjoyed working with the city staff. You have a very dedicated, loyal, experienced, and a staff that really, really loves this city. And that's, step one in so many ways to encourage and support the staff that spend, they get up in the morning and come here and work for the residents, and they really, really care about those residents. And the same, obviously, for the city council. I see that every day as well, that your goal has been the entire time I've been here is to do best for the city, best for the residents. I know it's hard, and, I think we underestimate sometimes how hard it is for you guys to get all the information you need to make a decision in a timely way. It is difficult work, and I know you also have other jobs that you go to during the day, and so balancing those two things, I really give you credit for doing that and dedicating a lot of time even then to the city and the community. So again, thank you for giving me a chance to come in and give you some assistance, and I'm certainly just down the road, so if you ever need anything, or if you're new administrator wants to a perspective, I'm happy to give it and to you as well anytime. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you believing in me enough to have me come and do work with you.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, thank you, Sandy.
Any council member reports
Bruce,
this time? Yes.
I have a statement. In light of Brian Cruz's public comments and accusations at the last council meeting, I have a statement of facts that I would like to present. The South Water Tower in Atkins project was started in 1996. In 1998, the council initiated an engineering change order to lower the height of that tower. The tower was completed in 1999. The engineering company that the city used was Amet Engineering of Cedar Rapids. The construction was done by Phoenix Fabricators of Indianapolis, Indiana. Brian Cruz was elected to the council in 2005. He served from 2006 till 2012. I have more accurate information if anybody's interested. In conclusion, while I believe that everything that Brian said on October 22nd was wrong, I respect the fact that he brought his accusations to me and my face and didn't just post it out on social media like so many people seem to think is the way to go today. Thank you.
Any other reports? Okay, hearing none. Moving on to item number 8, that'd be future agenda items. Be looking for the future work session.
For water, work session for water.
Right.
Ongoing interviews.
We'll have some more dates.
We need to put a budget plan together.
Mhm.
I think we should have probably a proposed glide path, a discussion on that, and then an agreed upon plan. And I think we should probably have that done before the year's out. So then we can do work sessions in January and February.
Definitely. There would be, in fact, at the budget workshops that are coming out next week, started today actually, there'll be a calendar in there of the dates to hit, as well as when the state of Iowa would be providing our revenue information to us. And so from that, we can put together a calendar for the whole package, you might say.
Can we schedule a discussion for how we want to, for sequence and process?
Yep. We can
think that
bring it
would
up
be
to the
good.
next council meeting if you like. We would know by then some of the budget items are coming from the state too. So
Because normally,
we would
Sandy, you would sit down with each department and
The mayor
do
and
some
I,
preparation before we meet at the council, right?
right, the mayor and I actually discussed this today, and I agree. I think that the council should be ready to have its first work session in January, which means that the staff in the next 6 weeks should be working with the mayor and Teresa, hopefully, to put together the budget, the department requests, so that they're ready to be presented to you in January. And then you put that together with the revenue projections based on evaluations. We have the rollback numbers now, but you'll need your And they're pretty similar to last year. And but that's not good. The rollback numbers last year were very strong, in that 46, 47%. So, but you don't need that for the department work, in the presentations from departments to understand where they're at, CIP plan, the work that we did kind of hastily. Hopefully, if you got started in January, you'd be able to do that at a better a pace where you have, more time to consider what's in front of you, and then be able to revisit it, not 2 days later, but, a few weeks later. And beyond, to your point of having a calendar that builds on the state's calendar that we used last year.
I think for the key touch points from last year's process, the sequence that makes sense to me, just as an open with the proposal, is we do have the work sessions with the department heads. So working up to that is work for mayor, administrator, staff. But first interaction with the council, I think, is department heads and administrator discussing their needs and their budget with us. We should have the benefit of better informed numbers for comparison year on year, which will help. Then we need to have, what we didn't get to last year, we need to have a session in between that for us to discuss what we're comfortable with and what we want to prioritize. I think that's best used as a work session. And then that will help the administrator, I think, immensely to craft a budget that has more consensus behind it.
That's exactly what I said as well. That's what was missing last year, was that middle.
The follow-up, the chance to just hear everybody, because those meetings shouldn't be adversarial. I
Right.
don't want to argue.
And you want to hear everything.
Right.
I think you need to understand what departments, if you can't afford it this year, you need to know what the landscape looks like of everything. And then as you put that together, you'll, hopefully together you realize what you can afford in a year. The other piece that is in my projects report is what we talked about, which is you need a long-term financial plan. We tried to build a budget based on just incoming revenue, and that it's impossible. You absolutely have to balance it against bonding, against borrowing, against maintenance plans, and you're not going to get there this year, but it's certainly, I think we understand that a little bit better than I did certainly last year. So that'll get you ready for the year after that, where you're getting more and more refined about what you need to spend out of cash, what you should be borrowing against, and how much you could, what's the big project you could do in any given year out of cash.
Okay. All right, moving on to public input for items not on the agenda. If anyone would like to speak before the council, welcome to do that. And we have 3 minutes. Ask you to come to the podium, state your name, and speak before the council. Anyone like to do that tonight?
I'm Rita LaPan, I live on Prairie Hill Drive. And I just want to thank Sandy for being such a positive person and bright light.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And state that the next regular council meeting will be held November 26th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. here at the City Hall. And with that, our business for this evening is completed. So would we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Roll call vote. Is it Jim Kane,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky,
Aye.
Samantha Peterson,
Hi.
David Fisher,
All right.
EJ Bell,
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everyone. City Council is adjourned.
This meeting is no longer being recorded.
Make sure I don't know if he talked or not.